Of all the places I've visited, I think this is the one I've been looking forward to the most. It's good to be back.
Well, here I am on the Cornish coast. I've really been looking forward to this. But not only do I love being by the sea, like so many people, I've always enjoyed coming to Cornwall.
Cornwall is one of the most popular holiday spots in the UK. You don't have to look far to see why.
It's great to be here at this time of the year because the views are just spectacular. And the landscape is just breathtaking. Just look at it. The lizard in particular has a reputation for having a great variety of different plants on it. I think it was the Reverend C.A. Johns in 1847 who said, if I threw my hat on the ground, wherever it lands, there will be at least 10 different species of plant underneath it. He must have had a very big head.
Of course, plants are not the only thing you can see. These cliffs make ideal nest sites for many birds. Peregrine falcons are doing particularly well here, and these well-grown chicks probably have only a week to go before they have to fend for themselves. I wish them luck. I think they may need it.
As you would expect, being in Cornwall, fishing has always played a very important part in people's lives, and many ingenious ways have been devised to get the drop on the shoals of fish that swim around these shores. I mean, that's why that building is here. It's known as the Hewer's Cottage. As you can see, it's no bigger than a shed. It was built as a lookout post where a man would spend his time gazing out to sea looking for shoals of fish. And when he saw a shoal, he would shout, "Hubba, hubba," like Fred Flintstone. Do you think Fred was a hewer? Hubba, hubba, hubba. But it's true. And when the villagers heard that cry, there would be a stampede to their boats as they launched them. And the hewer would stay here and direct the boats out to the shoals of fish by hand signals. Now that village down there is the beautiful village of Cadgwith, where I'm going to meet a lobster fisherman. But he's not only a lobster fisherman, he's a lot else besides. I'll see you.
There's no denying that Cornwall is dotted with hundreds of pretty coastal villages, but one of my favourites is Cadgwith. We'll see why later. However, if you want to get a feel of what makes these places what they are, then you've just got to talk to the people who live and work here. And that's what's so enjoyable about my journey.
Now, Nigel, tell me, how long have you lived here in the Lizard now?
Well, I was born in Lizard.
Oh, you were born here?
That was a long time ago.
Yes. Well, are you, what, 34? And you've lived here all your life?
35 years, as you said.
And you always wanted to be a fisherman?
Well, I wanted to go fishing. I wanted to go crabbing. And all fishermen used to say, once you've got one foot in a crabber, you're there forever.
Is that right?
That's the story.
And your dad was a fisherman?
Father was a fisherman.
And your grandfather's in the business?
Yeah,
the family.
yeah, it goes back for years.
Any smugglers in your family? They're all smugglers.
I can't say anything about that now.
You're not saying anything. But tell me, I've been looking at these pots that you make brilliantly. Now, how old were you when you made your first pot?
When I was about 15. Well, I used to help the old man years ago.
Did he teach you?
He did.
Who taught your father, your grandfather?
Yes,
It was handed down.
yes, that's right, yeah.
So how do you go about making a pot? I mean, what's the first thing you do?
Well, first thing to do is got to go and cut the withies
Where'd you get them from?
from a withy garden and order quite a few from Somerset.
I'd never heard the word withy.
Willow, withy. In the winter, that when they're cut, they're very, very pliable. You can tie knots in them, but in the summer, they're dry and been cut quite a long time now, and they need soaking.
You've got the withies, they're all ready, you're in your workshop, and then?
Psych yourself up and get started, really.
And tell me, how long does it take you to make one of these?
Well, if I didn't stop, it'd take me 2.5, 3 hours to make a pot.
You've got to stop and have a cup of tea.
Well, yeah,
in 3 hours
yeah.
non-stop. Ah, it's great, Nigel. These are the traditional pots, aren't they?
These are the traditional Cornish willow lobster
No, they
pots.
don't. What do they use today? They use...
All plastic and steel.
yeah, why? Why have they changed it?
Well, they're just cheaper and they'll last a lot longer. Never got to mend them, really.
But you keep making these. Now, why do you make them if you don't use them for fishes?
I make them for people for decoration, a lot of them. Pubs, hotels, a few films, props, that sort of thing.
Now, is this a dying craft? How many other fishermen make their own pots?
Well, there's a few fishermen who make them, which is very nice to see. Unfortunately, 2 managed to find their way to the Far East somewhere, and now they've been re-imported back, made of raffia and cane, and they're a lot cheaper than I make them for. So the market is pretty flooded with these foreign things.
How did they get to the Far East?
Some kind soul bought 2, I suppose, and sent them over there and brought them back by the container load.
I mean, is there an apprenticeship? I mean, could you teach me to make one of those pots?
Well, I'd be hard pressed, I think, probably to teach you to make a pot.
How long would that take?
Well, I think it'd take a long time because every pot I make it with the sort of object of catching a lobster, though lots of them never see the sea.
Okay, well, that's the pot finished, and turn her over. See what she look like. In a bad old pot, you'll do the job. Catch a lobster, I think. Good old lobster pot.
How much would these big pots be then?
What, to you?
No. Just tell me how much they were. We get how much? How much would that
well, I
large
sell
pot?
a big one for 40 quid.
Okay, and now the smaller ones would be 20.
I think 20 would be probably right, yeah.
40, 20. But to me, obviously, you'd give me a discount.
Well, about 55, I thought.
55. That's the story of my life, you know. I've been trying to get something for nothing, and nobody gives me a thing. I think it's a work of art, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. He's better with the lobster in there.
Well, maybe we'll see a lobster in there this afternoon, because I believe you're taking me out on a boat this afternoon. Is that right?
That's right, we're going for a little trip this afternoon.
Yeah, you know I'm a terrible sailor. Will it go up and down?
Well,
yeah. You reckon?
Yeah, you'll be right.
Well, it's been great, and thanks very much.
All right.
And I'll see you
I'll
later.
see you later on.
All right,
Right
mate.
on.
Bye. Those lobster pots are lovely things. Wouldn't mind one of those in my garden. Right then, down into Cadgwith Cove I go. The thing I like about this place is it's managed to remain a true working fishing village. None of your regimented shops and coloured awnings here.
Oh no, this is where the real work is done, and it's all the better for it as well. Here you'll find boats of all shapes and sizes, and if you time your visit right, you can buy some fish or a lobster straight off the boat. You won't get any fresher than that. Well, unless you catch it yourself.
You know, there can't be many places in Cornwall that don't have stories about monsters or fairies. There are even tales about little old men called piskies. No, not pixies, piskies. Now, come to think of it, I know a few little old men who get piskied from time to time. Now, I know this great story about a giant Lobster. Now, he was so tall, this giant, that one of his strides spanned 6 miles, and he was mean and bad-tempered and took great pleasure in terrifying the countryside. So much so that the people were too scared to go about their normal business. But one day, this giant fell madly in love with the beautiful St. Agnes. But she was so scared of him, she didn't have the courage to tell him that she couldn't return his love. But she thought this was a great chance to free her people. So she said to the giant, she said, Giant, I want you to prove your love for me by filling in that hole in the cliff at Chapel Porth with your blood. You see, she knew that the hole was bottomless, but he didn't. So he perished through loss of blood. And do you know, to this day, if you go to Chapel Porth, the sea there is still stained red with his blood. It's true. If you don't believe me, go and have a look for yourself. Well, soon be time to see Nigel. He's going to take me out in his boat. I just hope it's not a Force 8. I could be in trouble. Where is he? Way! Hang on. Tell you, I think I'll take this off. Hey? Good grief. All right. How far? Oh, we're on our own now. Hey. How far are we going out then?
5 miles, Derek.
And it's very calm now, isn't it?
That's rough out there.
I think I'll come up your end. Look safer up your end. There they are. Life on the ocean wave. Seagulls, sun, sea.
I'll stop the engine a minute because I like to pull these pots like the old traditional ways.
And how many do you reckon we're going to find? Bets? We've never done what? Okay.
Who knows? 3 in a pot be nice.
And what do you do with them?
Sell them in, take them in and
Take
plug
them
them and beer money.
Eat them?
Eat them, yeah.
Give me one.
Well, God, you're away again.
Now these pots, these are the old-fashioned ones.
These are the old-fashioned ones.
Yeah.
There's lobster in the
There's
first
one in
pot.
there, look at that. Is that big or?
No, that's small. That's actually too small.
Yeah.
That
How
one.
old is that?
Oh, it's 5 or 6 years old.
Really? Grief.
So we gotta
Well,
throw that one back, I'm afraid.
Oh, go on then.
Sure.
Well, you know, you're the boss.
Hey, aren't you doing this job?
This is number 2. No, I like watching you. Hey.
It's just nice with the engine off and a bit of peace and quiet with
Yeah,
nice,
it's beautiful.
nice old-fashioned pots.
No, what have we got in here? Oh, look. Hey, that's a biggie.
That's a better one.
Grief.
That's a better lobster.
Here, we'll have a bit of him. Good.
There you are.
Highly dangerous, they look, don't they? Yeah, that's massive. Is that,
That's a female one.
how big are they, you know, the biggest ones?
Well, that one there is £1.5 and the biggest one I've had is 12.5 pounds.
Grief, we won't get in the basket.
There you go in there. Yeah, you get in there. Well, if we only get one lobster out of 4 pots, I'd be quite happy with that.
Will you?
Yeah.
And what, is that a good day?
Well, if I hold 100, that's 40 lobsters. I had a bad day. Well, this is the last pot.
Oh, this is the last
Last
one.
chance.
Okay. I reckon you got 3 in there.
Oh yeah.
I'm just, you know, having a
Yeah.
I'm having a
Wouldn't want to
guess.
bet on that, would you?
Look at that. Hey? Good grief!
Oh, there's one in there.
No, that is one. Wow. Hey, 1. Gee, that's a biggie.
That's a nice one.
That's wonderful. God, looks lethal. That's the tail, is
Yeah,
it?
£1.5 lobster.
Yeah. That could do some damage.
Yeah, you
there,
could do.
couldn't
Yeah, you would do. Definitely.
Hey. And there's a massive one down there. No, why? Hang on.
Crab here now.
Okay.
And you only got 1 leg, so.
Oh. A
A couple of
crippled,
small spiders. Yeah, crippled.
crippled crab.
Well, you don't know what you've actually said because that's a real Cornish way of a one-legger.
Is it really?
That's a crippled crab.
Is that what you call
Yeah.
it? Gee whiz.
Who'll tell you what?
And nobody. I just made it up.
Get on. This is about 2 years old, this mackerel.
Yeah.
Salted.
How do you keep it?
Just salt.
Where do you store it?
In a big barrel.
Yeah.
That's the preen.
Preen.
That's for holding the bait in.
Oh, I see.
That's the old-fashioned way of holding the bait in.
And you use the same bait always, do you? Is it,
Well, salt mackerel for lobster.
yeah. God, there.
Don't stand in the rope, we should be gone with it.
Well, the last one, okay?
Yep.
Bingo. Wah! Jesus.
Don't think that's heavy, do you? Important job now.
Yeah. What is that? What you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good luck.
That's fine. You do them all the time. Just kiss it.
Not all of them.
Hey.
Only these ones.
God. That's a good idea. I must remember that. I kiss most things, but God, I've never kissed one of those before. That's very exciting. How many have we got then?
Got 2. We'll keep 2.
2. Well, that's 1 for me and 1 for you.
2 for me.
You know, I really enjoyed that. I'm glad the sea was calm, or it could have been very embarrassing. These cliff-top paths are wonderful, and I love walking along them. It's a shame I can't do this more often. Now, just along this beach is an area of rock pools. Who can resist them, eh? I know I can't. Just got to take a look. Hey, there's a likely looking one. Yes, perfect.
You know, this takes me back to my lost youth. I used to do this when I was a kid. These rock pools, not only are they great fun, but they're very, very mysterious. You never know where you're going to find them. Hang on, hang on. Yes. Yes. Oh, I thought it was a crab. It's Twiggy. There's something down there, though. You know, the Cornish coast is littered with coves and inlets and is renowned for its many caves. Now, these caves were brilliant for the smugglers because that's where they used to hide their booty. I mean, they hated being called smugglers. They wanted to be called free traders. I mean, they thought that tax evasion was a legitimate occupation. So nothing changes, does it? They were all at it, though, you know, even the clergy. There was one vicar whose Sunday service was interrupted by this man coming in saying, "There's a shipwreck on the rocks over there." And he begged his congregation, he said, "Sit down in your pew and wait till I've got my cassock off, because we've all got to start off fair." Any minute now, I'm going to catch something. When I was about 10, I used to do this all the time. I used to love being on the beach, and I can hear my mother shouting now, "Derek, take your pullover off." You see, I used to hate exposing myself. I used to sneak along the beach, sit on a deck chair and watch Uncle Tommy and the Showtime girls. But I hated taking my clothes off on the beach. Times have changed. Nothing.
What a wonderful time I've had over these weeks. These memories will stay with me for many years to come.
This is the wonderful Minack Theatre, hewn out of rock on the Cornish coast. It was built in 1932. It must be one of the most beautiful open-air theatres in the world. And I can't think of a better place to end my journey. All I can say is I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I'm just sorry it's all coming to an end. I've been to some wonderful places, I've met some amazing people, and it's because of their passions and their skills and their talents that the West Country is not only a wonderful place to live, but it's also in very, very safe hands. So the time has come, the walrus said, to say goodbye, and as an actor standing here on this stage, I'm reminded of The Tempest by William Shakespeare, when Prospero says at the end of the play, "Our revels now are ended, and these, our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, aye, all which it inherit, shall dissolve. And like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made of, and our little life is rounded with a sleep." Bye-bye.